Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for attending today. This is the OACAC Virtual College Individual information session for Liberty University. Just quick housekeeping rules. During this time, feel free to ask any questions using the Q&A button to type your questions, and your presenter will be able to answer them. Your camera and microphone are off. You are muted, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. And don't forget to sign up for more sessions. This is just one of many college presentations offered. You can check out the other schedules as well as the other universities at www.oacac.org. And all of these sessions are going to be recorded, so you can always go back and watch these in real time for the future. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to our presenter. We have John from Liberty University. And John, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, y'all. My name is John. I'm a national recruiter with Liberty University. And what that means is that I have the privilege of traveling to schools, colleges, Christian music festivals, and fairs all across the U.S. and telling students about their academic opportunities at Liberty University. I did graduate from the university in 2018 with my bachelor's of music. And then I actually met my wife at Liberty during the 2016-2017 academic year, and she'll be finishing up her bachelor's of music and choral education with a focus in vocal studies this fall. She's already teaching at a local high school, working through her student teaching. So I think if anything, that says a lot to the preparation that she's received from the university to prepare herself for the job market. I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia, where the university is located, but enough about me. Let's actually talk about Liberty University. I do want to take a second and emphasize, if you guys do have any questions today while we talk about Liberty, please drop them in our chat. I'd love to inform you more. But the questions and the things that you're interested in, well, like I said, this is Liberty University. It's one of the world's largest Christian universities. And at Liberty, we do have over 200 undergraduate degree programs housed by 15 different schools and colleges. Our motto is knowledge of flame, but our mission is training champions for Christ, and we've been doing that since 1971. So I mentioned that we do have 15 schools and colleges that house our over 200 undergraduate degree programs, and you're going to see some of those here. Now, some programs that I always enjoy highlighting are going to be our School of Aeronautics, School of Business, School of Education, as well as nursing. I do believe that these are some areas where we do have some of the top programs in the country. Now, additionally, within these schools, we do offer programs like pre-law, pre-med, pre-PT, pre-vet, and more. Now, something that we do recognize at Liberty University is for our students, it's important for you through your academic career to feel seen, heard, and understood. And so some ways that we do emphasize that is through the relationship that you're going to build with your professors. A lot of times when students ask me what's different about Liberty, I oftentimes tell them you're not just getting a community of students, and staff, and faculty. You're really getting a family, people who are there to be better, not only as people, but also as Christians in their academics and in their personal lives. And so one way that we want to assist you with feeling seen, heard, and understood, and have the opportunity to build those relationships with your professor is having them offer 10 office hours weekly, where you can sign up for an additional time to actually go in and chat with your professor about the materials that you're covering. Maybe you want to ask them a couple questions about how they got into their specific career field and what activities or what internships they took in order to propel them and get them into the position where they wanted to be. Now, I did mention that we are one of the world's largest Christian universities, and that's largely in part because we have a 108,000 student online presence. So we have over 108,000 students that are taking classes online. And so for the residential side, we have anywhere from about 13,000 to 15,000 students taking classes on campus. I will say right now, we are having classes 100% in person, but because we have that very large online presence, students do have the option of taking courses online as well. And so we want to make sure that our student safety is at the very forefront of their education. So again, they do have that option to take classes in person as well as online. If they do take them in person, we are making sure that our students are wearing masks as well as socially distancing themselves while they can. And so when it comes to our classes, and again, about 13,000 to 15,000 students taking class in person, and then about half living on campus, half living off. We have about a 21-to-1 student to professor ratio. Now, I don't want to, deceive you and say there aren't some very large courses. For example, English 101 and Comms 101 are two courses I think of right off the top of my head, where oftentimes they're offered as Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. And then typically on like Wednesday, you'll have a master session with a master teacher or professor. You'll get into a large lecture hall. But the great thing about it is on Mondays and Fridays, in those cases, you would have a graduate student assistant actually leading a smaller section about the size that we talked about, 21 to 1. So 21 students to that one graduate student assistant. You get in there and do a little bit more hands-on learning. Maybe you're playing games, or maybe you're diving more into the homework, or you're taking quizzes and tests in those smaller sections. And so we really do try to emphasize a smaller class feel, again, to make sure that you feel comfortable asking questions, but also feeling seen, heard, and understood. We do offer some study abroad opportunities, and oftentimes I recommend students check me out with our LUSEN department, because it is in partnership with that program there regarding what different opportunities would be available in studying abroad. So I do want to take a couple minutes and talk to you about 2 or 3 different programs that we offer at Liberty. And I'm going to emphasize first on one of the top ones that I recommended, which is going to be our School of Business. The facility where the School of Business takes or is having classes is our newest academic facility. It was built and opened in 2019. So students are currently taking classes in this building, but oftentimes we talk about 3 different centers available in this building. It's going to be our Center for Cyber Excellence, Entrepreneurship, as well as Financial Literacy. This is going to be one of those places where both entrepreneurship as well as financial literacy are going to have courses, because with our Center for Financial Literacy, we're all about making sure students know how to handle their finances. So it's writing a budget, understanding the difference between a loan, a grant, a scholarship, knowing how to properly address your finances so that when you leave and when you leave college and you step into your job, you're not like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to file my taxes, or I don't know how to, in our case, I believe a lot in tithing, or I don't know how to pay off my student loans. We want to help you out with that. We want to make sure that you're not only leaving a better student, but you're leaving a better person and a more organized person. And so I emphasize our Center for Financial Literacy in that way. And I also mentioned our Center for Entrepreneurship, and this is going to be an example of one of those collaborative spaces where our students have the opportunity to work together on different business projects or ideas to actually work on during college as well as after. And also we have our Center for Cyber Excellence. And Dr. Harper, who oversees that program, has over 30 years of military IT and cybersecurity experience. And so you're going to have the opportunity, even in this case is just one example, where you have the opportunity to learn from someone who has extensive experience in the field where you want to be studying in. So now we're just kind of looking through some more examples of our School of Business. Again, if you guys do have any questions today, feel free to drop them in our chat. That way I can address yours as we go along. Another program I always love talking about is our School of Nursing. This program, honestly, I could name at least 9 to 10 nurses that I know personally who are actually working in a major hospital system now in their desired unit, who have graduated from Liberty with their BSN and gone on to take their NCLEX and become a registered nurse. But when we look at our nursing program, the one thing that I love emphasizing is situational as well as hands-on learning. And so what you're seeing here is some of our simulation mannequins who have the ability to cry, wince, turn blue, talk actually to our nurses and allow them to get more hands-on learning opportunities that maybe they'll have the opportunity to take part in when they actually do become nurses and step into clinicals. We do believe a lot in partnerships, and so our School of Nursing will actually partner with our School of Communication and the Arts, specifically the Theater Arts program, as well as our Liberty University College of Osteopathic Medicine, and start building partnerships. And with the Communication and the Arts, specifically that Theater Arts program, they'll bring in real live students who actually act as though they are patients, and they'll be given different examples of things to say or how to act so that they can actually emulate those things. And then we bring our College of Osteopathic Medicine students, or doctor students, in to help our nurses and our doctors begin to start understanding that relationship that the two will actually be playing together. And so, I mentioned clinicals a couple minutes ago, so we've seen a lot with simulations, but when you get into your clinicals, for the state of Virginia, you are required to have 500 clinical hours in order to apply for your registered nursing license. And at Liberty, 3-year clinicals, we're actually going to prepare you to have over 800 clinical hours by the time that you leave. And then when you get ready to take that NCLEX, which is that exam you have to take in order to become a registered nurse, we have seen a first-time 92% NCLEX pass rate. So 92% of our students will pass on that first time. And again, they're going to be working at reputable hospitals like St. John's, Johns Hopkins, Duke University, VCU, just to give you an idea of a couple. But like I said, that's a little bit about our School of Nursing. The last program I want to emphasize today is going to be our School of Aviation. You actually are seeing one of our planes where our students are able to fly, but they will fly into Lynchburg Regional Airport as well as take off from there. And because of how much our students are flying, Lynchburg Regional Airport is actually the second most used airport in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Now you may be sitting there wondering, John, what's the first airport then? The first airport in the Commonwealth of Virginia that's the most used is actually Dulles International. So if that tells you anything, it's that our students, like I said, are flying pretty regularly. Now, one thing that's super specific with aviation is the weather is always playing a key factor. And so even though we always want our students to be in the air, we do have a lot of simulators where our students can also practice. So if it's a bad weather day, they can come inside and we have over 10 simulators where our students can continue flying and practicing their craft. Now, say that you don't want to be in the air. We do have some on-the-ground opportunities by flying drones. We have an unmanned aerial systems program, as well as a 12-month aviation maintenance technician program where our students do have the opportunity to get all of their necessary FAA requirements in order to become an aviation maintenance tech and actually step directly into a job field. If you ever were considering being a pilot, now is the time to be stepping into this field, whether it's at Liberty or at another university, because I have heard across the aviation workforce that we're actually about to go through a major deficit when it comes to the number of jobs available. So a lot of the people, or all of the older pilots, are starting to retire. So like I said, if you've ever thought about becoming a pilot, now would be one of those great times to step into the job market. But that's a little bit about our academics. I'm going to pause for a second. Are there any questions that I can answer for you guys? Seeing any come in. Well, we're very serious about our academics, but we also love our athletics. And at Liberty University, we are a Division I school. We have 20 NCAA Division I sports, including football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, track and field, cross country, just to give you an idea of a couple. I love highlighting our football team for the first time in school history. We are nationally ranked, even though we're at number 25, we are nationally ranked. We're currently 6-0, and our next big game is against Virginia Tech. We won our first bowl game in 2019, which was the Cure Bowl against Georgia Southern. And so we're super excited. I think we're really preparing for another great season there. Now, if maybe you're not looking to compete at the Division I level, we do also offer 40 club sports teams. And then also, I had a lot of fun with it. We do offer 20+ intramural sports. So I recommend going to www.libertyflames.com to learn a little bit more about the sports that we offer at Liberty. Now, food is super important to me, and so at Liberty, it is to our students as well, and no matter what college you select, it's going to be important to you because it's going to be how you kind of keep going throughout your days. So when you're thinking about Liberty University and food, just know we have been recently rated #1 in the U.S. 2 years in a row for our dining facility, which is the Reaver Thomas Dining Hall. Now, besides that dining hall, we do have a lot of retail options available on campus. As you can see on the left, we have a Chick-fil-A on campus. We have a total of 4 within a 5-mile radius of our campus. We have 3 Dunkin' Donuts, 2 Starbucks, so you never have to choose whose coffee is better. You can just have both. But then we also have like an Onions Pretzels, Einstein Brothers Bagels, Pizza Hut, Baskin Robbins. Again, you'll never, ever, ever go hungry or thirsty on our campus. When it comes to our housing, we have been recently rated #9 in the United States for our 3 different dorm styles, which include our classic dorm room style, which is that long hallway with about 2 to 3 people per room with communal bathrooms that somebody else cleans and provides toilet paper for. I always love pausing there and saying, in a COVID world, it matters that somebody else was providing toilet paper for you. Then we have our apartment style, which is like a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom apartment with a full kitchen and unit, as well as a washer and dryer. Even though you have a full kitchen in your dorm room, as a residential student, you still will be required to have a meal plan. Oftentimes, I'll recommend this option for our upperclassmen as they start transitioning to life after college. It's a very affordable way to do it, but also gives you a lot of stability. And then finally is our hotel style. You're seeing it in the bottom right. That's going to be our commons. It's our top tier of housing. But this really is like a hotel room, 2 people per room with controlled heating and air in each room, private bathroom that you guys will be responsible for cleaning. But when I tell you picture a hotel room, I really do mean that. Now, when we're talking about representation at Liberty, we are represented by all 50 states and over 70 countries, guaranteed to meet someone from somewhere you've never been before. Now let's talk about fun. Looking at the snowflake on the top left, that's going to be Snowflex. It's one of the only places like it on the entire East Coast because it is a year-round skiing, snowboarding, and tubing lodge. I've also found out recently Liberty is the only university, at least in the US, if not the world, that offers year-round sports, winter sports. So for example, we do, you might remember it from the athletics slide. We do offer ice hockey as well as ice skating. I would assume that we would offer curling. I think that would be pretty cool to see. But like I said, it's Snowflex is a year-round skiing, snowboarding, and tubing lodge. On the bottom left there, the Coffee Cup is one of my personal favorite events that we do at Liberty. It's one that I'll always recommend to our students. It's called Coffee House. It's run by our Student Activities Department. And Coffee House is a student talent show where students can do their favorite musical, comedy, or dance acts with a lot of funny videos in between. I've had the privilege of being in this a couple times, and I'd love for you to catch a glimpse of it. So later this November/early December, you can actually go over to the Student Activities Department page, so at Liberty SA, and actually watch and catch a glimpse of some of Coffee House this year. In the middle there, that is our LaHaye Rec and Fitness Center. There are a couple other facilities throughout campus that this department oversees. But our main facility, like I said, the LaHaye Rec and Fitness Center is just about everything you could ever want when it comes to working out, from free weights to heavy weights, to weightlifting equipment, to a 3-story rock climbing wall, to a cardio loft, to a CrossFit loft, to over 5 basketball courts, 4 racquetball courts, 2 indoor soccer fields, a bowling alley, a junior-sized Olympic swimming pool with a hot tub. My biggest hack is always telling people, hey, I'm going to work out. I'm just going to go hop in the hot tub. Nobody has to know. And then finally is Convocation on the far right. It's the largest weekly gathering of Christian young people in the world. I will acknowledge that right now it's being held virtually to promote social distancing and keeping our students safe. And so if you'd like to learn a little bit more about this event, you can actually go to our Liberty University Office of Spiritual Development page on Facebook, and you can actually stream Convocation for yourself on Wednesday and Friday mornings. But oftentimes we'll have speakers like Simone Biles, Steph Curry, Steve Forbes, Sean Lowe from The Bachelor. Just an opportunity for our students to hear from a wide variety of speakers. Now looking at our admissions process, at the top left, you see admissions made easy, and we really try and make it super simple for you. And so oftentimes I look a lot towards that first step, which is submitting your application. All of our admissions counselors are more than qualified to help you through steps 2 through 4. So your first step is submitting your application or just expressing some interest. And so for my seniors out there who are looking to apply for the fall 21 semester, I will go ahead and let you know that we are test optional for COVID-related reasons. We understand this year's been awfully crazy, and we don't want to penalize you in any form or fashion for that. So please know, if you haven't been able to take your tests, we understand. However, if you have, we still want to see those test scores, and we will reward you for that work. And I'll talk a little bit more about that momentarily. But also when we look at our admissions process, we really don't have any hard admissions requirements. You see where our admissions standards, 50% of our students have come from within the following mid-ranges. So anywhere from a 3.25 to a 3.83 unweighted high school GPA, a 1020 to a 1220, SAT super score, a 20 to a 27 ACT super score. And in case you didn't know, super scoring means that maybe you've taken one of those tests multiple times, and so we'll give you the best possible overall score, again, to reward you for the work that you've already done. Now, when we talk about your education, I understand it's super important for you guys to feel supported in every way. College is not an easy process. Going through college isn't easy, and no one will ever tell you it is. If they do say it's easy, they're lying. You're going through a lot of change. You're trying to kind of understand you're trying to build friends, but you're also trying to stay up to par on your classwork. We all understand. So we want to make sure that we are supporting you, first off, with your academics in mind. And so in partnership with our College of Applied Studies and Academic Success, we offer a couple different things. First off is going to be peer review in the form of a writing center. I personally was never a great writer in college, and I wish I'd taken advantage of the writing center a little bit more. But what you can do is you can actually submit an essay of yours and actually have one of our student writers review your paper for either grammatical errors or run-on sentence or sentence structure or overall formatting. And within 24 to 48 hours of submitting your paper, they'll actually send it back to you with recommendations on how you could better yourself when it comes to writing. Then we have our testing center. So say that you miss a test or you have some learning challenges or you're looking to take a CLEP exam or an institutional challenge exam so you can earn credit, college credit, or information you already know, or say you want to go to law school, you want to go to med school. This is a certified testing center, so you could have one of your professors send that test that you missed or send the test you need extra time on, or if you want to, like I said, take one of those tests to earn college credit for the information you know, or you need to get ready for med school or law school. You can take any and all of those tests here. So utilize that testing center. We also do offer tutoring. It's kind of in partnership with our peer review, but a lot of times these tutoring blocks or times will be offered by upperclassmen in the major that the course is in. So for example, if it's like accounting 211, oftentimes you'll have an accounting major actually help you out when you sign up for those tutoring sessions and actually help you through the information, help you understand a little bit more. Then with your future in mind, we talk about our career center. And so they do a couple different things, and they, to help you look the best on paper, they do resume as well as cover letter writing workshops. Then to help you look the best in person, they do mock interviews, again, to help you work on your answers, see how you present yourself. And finally, they want to help you get the job that ultimately you want. And so what that looks like is career-specific coaching as well as fairs. And so starting with the coaching, each of our coaches has extensive experience in the field that they oversee, whether it's business, law, music, science, nursing, education, you name it, they have worked in that job field before. And so they know what employers are looking for because they're in regular contact with them. They know what they're looking for. But then they put you in the opportunities to actually apply to those places and either get internships or jobs by having those career-specific fairs where you can actually get in touch with an organization, interview with them on the spot, and practice a lot of the things that you've already been working with our career coaches about. And so if you come to Liberty, start working with them within your first week of taking courses so that you can start working then to get placed in the job where you want to be. And finally is our Center for Health and Wellness, where we emphasize your wellness by focusing on 9 areas of wellness, including mental, emotional, and spiritual health. We talked about staying physically fit when it came to our LaHaye Rec and Fitness Center, but I can truly say from the bottom of my heart that if you're not taking care of your heart, soul, and mind, it will show no matter how great of a physical condition you're in. So if you need to go through some counseling services, you're concerned about your mental health, go see our student counseling services so that we can get you the assistance that you need. I'm going to pause here. Are there any questions that I can answer for you guys today? I think that's no. All right. Well, the next thing I want to talk about is going to be scholarships. And when we think about cost, Liberty is in the lower 25% of all private universities when considering cost. Our tuition hasn't gone up since the 2018-2019 academic year, and it's going to be the same going into the 21-22 academic year. Now, when we talk about helping our students fight the cost of college, over 96% of our students do receive some form of financial aid, whether that's a grant or scholarship, whether need-based or merit-based, whether that's an outside scholarship, where we help facilitate, that payment so that we can, again, assist our students with fighting the cost of college, but also student loans are a thing. Personally, I don't promote them. I think there are a lot of other opportunities like CLEP exams or institutional challenge exams, or fighting the stigma of community college where we can help you work through the cost of college. But also we do offer work study opportunities where you can work a little bit, but also, again, fight the cost of college. And so earlier we talked about submitting your test scores so we can reward you for the work that you've already done. And the Liberty Academic Scholarship is going to be one of those examples where, in partnership with your unweighted high school GPA, and then either your SAT or your ACT super scores, we can award you with anywhere from a $1,500 all the way up to a full tuition academic scholarship per academic year because of the work that you did in high school. And so oftentimes I love showing this to my sophomores as well as my juniors because there's so much time to really make a difference in your education. And so for my seniors, finish strong, do what you can. Like I said, to my sophomores and my juniors, this is going to play huge when it comes to fighting the cost of college. Now, there is an additional academic scholarship, the honors program, that I believe you need at least a 3.5 unweighted high school GPA, and then a 20, or it's either a 29, it's a 29 ACT super score and then a 1330 SAT super score. It's one or the other. In all these situations, it's just one or the other. We don't need both. If you'd like to learn more about our scholarships at Liberty University, I recommend visiting www.liberty.edu/scholarships. We'd love to see you on campus sometime soon. Even though there's 4 options on the screen in front of you, really it's 3. Tour LU and virtual tours are the exact same thing. The only difference is the virtual tours are from the comfort of your own home, and Tour LU is on campus. So if you don't feel safe coming all the way to Virginia and touring the campus, it's okay. We understand, but we'd still love to meet with you. So you can sign up for a virtual tour. And then Tour LU is a full tour of our school on campus. The only thing that we ask for our on-campus options is that you do bring a mask, as well as socially distance yourselves when you can. So we can do our part, which is offer the on-campus experience by everyone else doing their part, which is, again, wearing their masks and social distancing when they can. Then we have Experience LU. It's more of a full day event where students have the opportunity to come tour the campus, and oftentimes, if you select the right date or program, we'll actually tour the program you're interested in. We're going to feed you lunch. We're going to hear a short admissions presentation. Then you're going to have the opportunity in the afternoon to go back to the faculty and staff of the program that you're interested in to learn more about your program, whether it's research we may be starting or degree programs we haven't announced yet, but we want to let you in on, but ultimately how you can benefit from an education at Liberty University. And so again, for those 3 options, the Experience LU, Tour LU, and virtual tours, visit www.liberty.edu/visit us. And finally, we have College for a Weekend. In a non-COVID world, it is a 4-day, 3-night opportunity for you to come to Lynchburg, Virginia and be a college student for the weekend. You would get to stay in the dorms, eat the food, and go to the classes. But in a COVID world, we want to make sure we're keeping everyone safe. So asking that you make off-campus accommodations and stay at a local hotel so that our students can kind of maintain their normal schedules. We're still going to feed you on campus. You're still going to get to go to the classes, and you can even look at some of our model dorm rooms. But like I said, we're undergoing some maintenance right now to make sure that we are promoting safety across the campus. So for more about College for a Weekend, I'd recommend visiting www.liberty.edu/CFAW, so CFAW. Well, y'all, it really has been fun chatting with you today. And the last thing that I want to offer you is the opportunity to sign up and get some more information about Liberty University. So on the screen, there is a QR code. You can actually scan that QR code. And if you use an iPhone, I'm not sure how it's done on Android, but when you scan it, a little tab should pop down from the top of your screen. You can actually tap on that, and it's going to bring up another screen. It should say, I believe, John's College Fairs. And there will be 4 tabs across the top of your screen that say Application, Residential, Academy, and Online. And today we're really going to emphasize application and residential. I'm going to start more so with the residential tab, because what that means is that, hey, I'm interested in Liberty, but I think I'm only interested in getting emails right now. I want to learn more, but I want to take my time as I do more research. That's going to be the tab for you. For my high school students, you don't have to fill out the parent information tab. Just make sure you have your bachelor's selected when it asks you about your education, and then your high school graduation year, and you just submit it. Then maybe you're interested in taking that first step into the admissions process. Maybe you're ready to claim a $50 application fee waiver and not commit to Liberty just yet. That's exactly what you do. Oftentimes I compare our application at Liberty to a first date. It's free and there's no commitment to it whatsoever. So by doing the application tab, you would be able to apply for free with no commitment whatsoever. You're saying, hey, I'm very interested. I want to start the admissions process. I want to send you my documents. I want to fill out my FAFSA and see how much merit or need-based scholarships that I'm going to receive and how you guys are going to help me fight the cost of college, but I'm not ready to commit yet. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. So again, you would scan that QR code and fill out that application tab. Now, if you want to wait on that decision and kind of hold off, I would still recommend texting 49596 using the letters JT in the message box. And it'll send you a message right after that, just letting you know, hey, it's John from Liberty. And you can actually claim your app fee waiver through the link that the text will send you as well. If you do have any questions, that's my email right there. Feel free to give me an email at any time. I think I'm very punctual with my emails, but jrtravis@liberty.edu, and I'll reach back out to you whenever I have some time to. But thank you guys so much for your time. It really has been a privilege to tell you a little bit about Liberty University.
Alrighty, thank you so much, John, for that great presentation. After you close this window today, there will be a quick survey for you. It's 4 questions if you don't mind filling that out. And also don't forget to sign up for more sessions. You can check out the schedule and the different schools that we'll be attending at www.oacac.org. And again, all these recordings will be available at that same website as well. Again, thank you so much to our presenter today. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and his contact information was there for future reference. But thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a good day. Have a good